Okay, welcome to episode 5 of Building the Decision Tool. In this episode, we're going to be going through and wiring up all of the code we did in the last episode with the UI so that it should be working and we can interact with it. So let's get started. Now, if you remember, we didn't see the UI much in the last episode, but the way we left it is that right now it only has the first step of the plan, which is enter the decision that you want to make. And it is working, so as I type in here, we notice down here at the bottom, it is updating in our state the way that we want it to. So that's the current sort of configuration for the app. But now we need to be able to enter our factors and enter our choices and be able to score our choices. And so that's what we're going to be doing in this episode. Now, when I'm building this code, I don't actually want to be thinking about the real decision that I want to make, which is where am I going to buy a house. So I'm going to be using a fake decision, and I think for this one, I'm going to be sort of using the question, if I could choose any fantasy world to be a part of, which fantasy world would I go with? So that's going to be sort of the example that I'm using and thinking about as I work through this code. Alright, so right now we have the app and we have the decision setup that we had before. And I think the very first thing I want to do is sort of take this out and move it off to its own component. So what I'm going to do is create a new file in here, and this will be the decision text component. And we're going to import React from React. First thing you always have to do when doing this. So export const decision text. Alright, so I'm going to take this, and I know I'm going to return that. But the thing is, it needs to be sort of in its own little component. So I'm going to get the flexbox, get that over here, and so all of this is going to get wrapped in its flexbox. And flex direction is going to be column still. And we know that we need paths, so let's get paths in here. And we need decision and operations. And so that's going to come in from props, operations, and let's format this a little bit better at the moment. So value looks like this, unchanged looks like that, and there we go. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. Let's import this guy over here. Import, nope. So we can now replace all of this with a decision text, and we said it takes a decision, and we said it takes operations. Alright, so with that done, we see that it still looks the same, and everything's still working here. So that's good. So the next thing we want to do is add our factors. So I'm going to add a new component in here, and I'm going to call this factors.js. Right. Import React. Alright, and it's going to be similar, such that it's going to need a decision, and it's going to need operations, and import flexbox from flexbox react. Alright, return flexbox, and flex direction is going to be column. And so this is step 2. Enter the factors. Enter. Alright. So let's get that going. Import factors. Oops. Factors. It's almost... Enter the decision you want to make. Enter the factors. And let's come over here. I know that's verbose, but you know, I'm okay with that. Alright, so the very first thing we want in here is a button so that we can add a factor. So let's do that. Button. On click is going to be an operation. Operations.addFactor. Oh. Like that. And the button is just going to be add factor. Alright, so that should have a button here, and hey, look at that, we have add factor, and when we click it, if we come down here at the decision, we see we have factor. We have a factor now. Object, blah. Alright, so now we need to update this so that it actually displays on the screen. That would be nice. So we're going to need paths for that. Import paths from data paths. Decision.getIn paths.factors. And this will be an empty map. So we need that in place. Import map from immutable to list. Alright, so now underneath this add factor, should it be underneath or above? I'm not sure yet, so factors.map f, and you know, let's just do a very simple display at the moment. So we're going to say p f.get name. Alright, that didn't quite work. The above factors. So what's the error? What is the actual error? The above error. Type error. Decision.toList. Getin.toList is not a function. Ah, there we are. Yes. Add a factor. There's a factor now, but it's not showing up. We should have 2 factors, and again, they are not displaying. So let's figure out what's up with that. It says object, and it shouldn't be an object, it should be a map. So let's go take a look at that. Factors. Is that right? You know what? Let's just come over here and say should be a list, and it is. It's a size of 0. Boom. Now it has 1, now it has 2, so it should definitely be displaying. Oh, I see the problem. Return. There we are. Hey, now we got factor, now we have factor, we have factor. Alright, so what we really want to be able to do is, these factor names are kind of pointless. We want to be able to actually edit those. So let's map this to a factor component. file, factor.js, as opposed to factors. So import React from React, export const factor. So this is probably going to take a factor, it's probably going to take a decision, and it's probably going to take your operations. These are all coming in from props. Alright. So over here, I'm going to simplify this a little bit, actually. Import factor, and we'll need a key. This is f.get factor ID. Factor is going to be right now it doesn't do anything, so let's do this. So we're just going to have it display again div and factor.get name. So the only thing we're really gaining at this point is that it's in its own component, but it still should be working. Boom, 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 boom. Perfect. Now it's kind of annoying to me that I have to re-enter these each time. So I think I want to set it up so that it's actually going to save my data and reload it every single time, so I don't have to keep handling that. So the way that I'll be able to do this is that decision has this thing called get initial state, and so I'll be able to get this out of local storage and export const save state. So we're going to save the state and we're going to get it. So this will be state, and this is going to be like window. Whoa. Local storage dot set item JSON dot stringify. Oh, the key is going to be decision data state dot. So we'll stringify state, set it under local storage key. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, and here we're going to try to get it back out, so we're going to say const local equals local storage dot get item local storage key. If not local, return map, which it was before. Otherwise, we're going to return from JS. Okay. From JS JSON.parse local. So everything should still work here. If I add a factor, oh yeah, I still need to wire this up. So get initial state's coming from there, and I need to update local state, so that'll be over here. Save state. So update decision. So const update. This is going to be the updated state. So we're going to want to save the state, and we're going to call update decision. There's that. So now, oops. So now, update date is not defined, so each child should have a unique key prop. So I will figure out what's up with that in a moment. But if I refresh the page, we see the factors stick around. So that's working. So if I enter my decision, I'll say which fantasy world would I most like to join? Oops. Okay. So now, if I refresh the page, there it is. Alright, so now let's go take a look at this thing, which is each child on the list should have a unique key prop. So what's up with this? So if we come over here to factors, we have key, f.get factor ID, and you know what? The problem here is that we are not including factor ID in our object. So let's go fix that. So that would have broke some tests. Yarn test. Watch. Snapshot failed, and it's because it now has factor ID in there. So that's good. And we need to do the same thing over here on choices, because it's the same problem. Alright, so now, if we come over here, we should see each child on the list should have a unique key prop. And that's because the local storage is borked. So we should set up a way to clear that out and actually restart. So let's do that. Reset state. And it's going to be over here. Let's reset state. So window.local storage.set item local storage key undefined. And what should we do at that point? Window dot. Well, it should definitely refresh. Set item. Okay. So there's that. Over here, let's create just a simple button up here. Where should we do this? Yeah. So reset state. And really, let's just call this reset. Refresh. Ooh. Things are really bad now. JSON.parse unexpected character in line 1 of the JSON data. So let's come here, say local is undefined. So we say here, if not local, this would be a good thing to write tests around, but it is kind of painful to write tests around global objects. So So local undefined. JSON.parse, unexpected character line 1 of column 1. So, why does it think? Oh, got it. It can only store strings, so it was actually stringifying undefined there, which is really annoying. If not, so this is if not local or local empty string. There's a better way to do this, but I don't want to look it up at the moment. So, now things are just all messed up. Yeah, reset. Alright, there we go. So now I can remove this. Alright, reset, add factor, so it's back, that's there, reset, refresh, that's done. Alright, so with that done, I should be able to, you know what, I think we'll call that a commit point. The idea was to wire up all of this, but we've got local storage updated, and we've added a simple factor. So I think that's a pretty good stopping point for a single episode, and we'll continue wiring this up in the next episode. So let's see what our changes are. So we have app.json, we've added some get initial state, some state management. We're still logging the decision. Actually, we have removed that. That's okay. And we've got this refactored. We've added our decision text component, so that's good. We have a little factor. That's good. Factor is here. That's good. We've set our choices so that we have choice ID included in the object that gets created. And here we have added our state management stuff. Same thing here. We've added factor ID and we've got some updated snapshots. So that is a good bit of work. So get status here. Get add dot wiring up factor list. Added saving data between resets. Alright. In the next episode, we will continue wiring things up. I will see you next time.